Hi, welcome back to another installment of In My Feelings by Mother Ayo. If it's your first time here, welcome. We are a creative tech immersive art company. We storytell using immersive technology and we make immersive experiences for people to experience through art, poetry, music, and much more. In My Feelings is a series of poetry shows where we come with themes and explore our feelings. We get in our feelings and we invite you to share in the experience with us. Today we're exploring the theme of pain. Um, we're going to be telling our poetry. We hope that you're in the mood, you're cozy, and you're ready to get in your feelings. Um, as usual, we have our QR code where you can scan and type how you're feeling. Let us know how your day has been. Were you sad? Were you happy? What has you feeling pain? What's got you down? Come and share in the experience with us. And at the end, we'll be generating some poetry using our AI tool, which will be really exciting for you to experience if it's your first time here. We have Gloria with us today.
Hey guys.
She's going to be sharing her poetry, and let's tell you a little bit about Gloria. Gloria is a multifaceted spoken word artist and creative, writing poetry that delves into different facets of womanhood and intertwined with being Black in the UK. Raised in Peckham, her pieces explore themes of self-love, romance, and painting vivid portraits of her Black British identity. So let's give Gloria a wonderful round of applause as she reads us some of her pieces.
Hi guys. My name is Gloria. My poetry name is Glow Poetry. I'm going to be reading some of my pieces today, surrounding on the theme of pain. My name is Gloriana, and this is Glow Poetry. Dear diary, I can't even put a pen to my paper. See, my words topple and chase up and down this page. I cannot verbalize my mind at this time. All I can say is pain, pain, pain. What is for me in this world other than rage and mistake? But I'm mistaken, you see. I belong in the margin of creative destiny. They call it love and light. We call this real life. The only option left. I change flows like my menses in different degrees. Depressed and overstressed. I wake up foggy-minded. I'm indifferent to me. And it's distant from me. The vision of romance and love, where I turns to us. I don't know if it will ever be. Sometimes I feel in this body brown and holy. Sometimes I feel in this body brown and holy. Yet I am only admired and bejeweled by the stares of white strangers, zookeepers, flashing their keychains. This is my token Black figure. She kind of looks like you. A display of discrimination and defying my nation. Like stares written on my fucking forehead. But you cannot stare if you cannot admire. You cannot admire and steal my fruits, leave me dry and bruised. Used to the dismay of my existence, why don't you shift your male gaze and carry this portrait? Caress my makeup and stroke my beauty. You should cut me in your hands and let my back land softly, in your heart, in your lap. Instead, you rip me apart. I fear I do not see the point of this display. I feel locked, I feel caged. And that is why, my love, I do not see my love. Because if I cannot leave and my heart does not belong to me, this concern with displaying my beauty, overly coincides with my black feminine humanity. To be objectified is to be loved, and I cannot take that anymore. Thank you. That's my first piece. I don't actually name my pieces, so for the next few pieces, I'm just gonna go straight into it. But I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And yeah. Sorry, I'm just finding my pieces in my notes. I write all of my poetry in my notes, and then I transfer them to my book. But my notes is like where all of my poetry lives. Okay, this is one short piece, and then I have another longer piece after this. Where have you been? Inside, around, and on my phone all day. I want to throw it away, but I have laid so many remnants of myself inside this screen. I fear without this device, I would no longer be seen. Locked, muted, buried. The mutuals will unfollow, friends will furrow their brows trying to remember my story. The memes become inside jokes, inside homes, on doors I cannot knock. My imagination has flittered, crushed into mood boards and carousels. Remember me? I'm extremely fluent in non-existence. My favorite words are silence and airtime. I see blue light in my sleep, causing nightmares. Now I don't daydream, so I split screens of myself and compartmentalize my self-esteem. Psyche lingering. Across the screen, PFPs and direct messages contain my digital personality. A generation full of monitoring spirits. Our characters formed into word counts of 240. Unlimited identities. Thank you. Is the mic still on? This mic. Okay, cool. I was worried that I pressed something on the mic. It is green. Okay. So that was just a piece, just reflecting on the relationship that we all have with our phones and living in the digital world and how that can actually affect your mental health. This is another piece that does not have a name. I'm scared of all the people that hate me. Of all the people that possibly loved me and acted otherwise. I'm scared of the possibility of pain and disdain from my mother's bird's eye of the world. I do not own diamonds and pearls, or adorn myself with curves and curls, rather wrap myself in shards of the broken mirrors that hit me on the way home. I was chasing the wrong hearts, and at the end of this race was a reflection of my face, so I wonder who is really to blame. So I wear these ripped glass shards around my neck to accessorize my breast, a trophy from the war I just waged on the world. The only weapons I have to guard my chest of treasures. And when they rip into my skin, I tell myself I bleed rubies. That it's a pretty pain and they glisten as they twist and turn inside my veins. Escape through this hole in my face. And I let them free because I cannot be. It's a messy exchange, but I'll still salvage my beauty. Beauty is gain, beauty is pain. So I became vain. Followed these paths traced along my veins, etched by my ancestors whispering their names. But am I in vain? I do not know, see, I don't make love to my wounds like you soft lovers do. My skin is brittle, broken, tried, tested, and used. Yes, it feels sharp and tender to begin, and then it floods my lungs until I'm breathlessly blind. Now, I cannot decline the pain in my body, so I romanticize the feeling. These droplets of red have crystallized on my chest, so I wear them like a trophy. The strong black woman, I can only love myself as far as my palms reach. When these red shards leave my frame, I forget its name. They say it feels like pain, but I call it love. I think that love is circulating through us, and when you strike a man from the hate in your heart, his love leaks out onto the floor and wastes away. The ones that cherished him will never know his pain, because his love was scrubbed away. No witnesses in this case, just bystanders, an audience who watch with dismay, shaking necks at his untimely demise. Better you than I as they avert their gaze. On to the next act. I know love is just a play, and that's why the white man who wrote Hamlet said, all is fair in love and war. I see now. These bright red sharks that leak in place of my heart do not serve as a display of the feminine, the black existence, the strong black woman. This is pain. No, this is love. No, I think this is blood. Leaking from my lungs until my breath runs up, time is out, my love is done. My cup has drowned, runneth over, dried up and sore, it is no more. Spilt on your couch, in your bed, and in your home. I hope your memories of me are not stained by the strength I carried. I walk towards the bright light, still sharpening my sword, ready for the war of the next world. The angel sees it and tell me heaven has no harm. For the first time I see, my love has shed its crimson tone, with its earthly scent. Now my love appears crystal clear, and is free to ascend. Thank you. That's my final piece. I'm assuming that you guys are like home, clapping for me, applauding. So thank you guys, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, that was so deep. I feel like there's all through three of your poems, there's definitely a theme of like um what we're told love is supposed to be or connection is supposed to be versus what we experience. Am I right to say that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. When did you start writing poetry?
I've been writing poetry for quite some time. I'll say that I started actually penning down my words around 16 years old. Yeah, I would say then is when I started writing down my words, but I've always been a writer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say that was like a trigger event?
No, I wouldn't say so. Like I said, I've always been a writer. I think just combining my love for writing and listening to music is what helped me get into poetry, I would say. Yeah.
So it's like a form of expression, essentially.
Yeah, a form of expression for me.
Yeah, it's really nice. Right, so we're going to get into discussions about each specific poem. And I'm going to start with the first one, which I thought was quite sad. But the theme of the day is pain.
Yeah, pain. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope nobody's crying at home.
I hope they are. It's a form of release.
Yeah.
Do you not feel better after you cry?
Yes, I do.
It's so terrible, like in the moment, but then after it's just like you cry and then you like need to go to bed. It's like I've had so much energy, like I'm done now. Like it's kind of what you need. I find it helpful.
Yeah.
So your first poem, I definitely got the vibe of like being a black woman, living in a predominantly white country or living in a country where you're the minority, and not feeling desire in the way that feels loving or in the way that feels genuine or respectful. Can you tell us a bit about that? I mean, you have told us in the poem, but I want to delve a bit deeper into it. And what that's been like for you and why that led you to write that poem.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure when I wrote that poem, but I would definitely say like a consistent theme in like the sad poems that I write is about dealing with the relationship between being desired and actually being loved.
Oh.
And I feel like yeah,
Yeah.
I recently like I feel like I've always been writing about that, but I
Yeah.
recently actually watched a video that I really delved into what the difference is.
Yeah,
And I feel like as women, it's very important that we look at that relationship
for sure.
in terms of how people treat us, but
Mhm.
also how we treat ourselves.
Yeah.
So I feel like that poem was really just about me making the distance between the two and just getting the anger off my chest of just always feeling objectified,
Yeah.
and that having to be conflated with love.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, also being I'm not sure what the word is, but I'll just say gawked is the best word to describe it, because if it's not I'm dealing with the pressures of the male gaze,
Yeah.
then I'm dealing with the pressure of the white gaze.
Yeah.
So it's like opposite ends of the spectrum, where one is like I'm sexualized, I'm
Yeah.
objectified, and the other is just I'm stared at.
Yeah.
Which is that's why I have the line of white strangers staring at me like
Yeah.
stare is written on my fucking forehead.
Yeah.
Because that's how it feels sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're caught between a rock and a hard place and never like actually like getting what you deserve.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's just about dreaming about what I deserve as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely find that taking responsibility and ownership of like the spaces that you find yourself in, to a reasonable extent, because you can't control the whole world around you. It's like you just put yourself in situations, whether relationships or like in spaces with people who adore you, or remove yourself from spaces people who do that to you.
Yeah, I think that's definitely very true, which can be hard to do because you still want to be in those spaces and feel like you're being loved and adored, but you really do have to think about how are you being loved and adored, and is that really what you want? Basically.
Yeah, I think that's an aspect of life a lot of Black women have to contend with, especially with like the intersectionality of gender and race, again, in a foreign country.
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing I wouldn't say is like prevalent in anything I perform today, but when I say that I talk about the different phases of womanhood, I definitely believe it's important to separate how you feel about womanhood and blackness, just so you can really get into that. And I also like to go talk about the experiences of like being just a girl, like 'cause I'm just a girl. But also being a daughter, being a mother. Those are all things that I like to like talk about in my poems, even though I'm not anybody's mother. But yeah.
Would you like to be a mother one day?
Yeah, I do. I do have some pieces about like motherhood.
Yeah.
But there's also about like I feel like one thing about like being a woman is always when you really register a relationship with your mother. She was a girl one day. That's like what did it take? I really
have never thought about that. Like
sometimes you really just like maybe you'll see like a picture of your mom or like your grandma, and then you really just wow. Everybody's just a girl.
I feel like that's actually so crazy. You kind of blew my mind. I'm not gonna lie.
Existential crisis.
Yeah,
it does cause a bit of an existential crisis.
Yeah,
I will not lie, because
it's like you kind of, I don't know. In my situation, it's like, like you probably had to grow up like a lot earlier. Like I know, like in those days, like the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever, like people had families a lot earlier, and like I'm 25 now. Yeah, like I'm 25 now, and I say all the time, like I could not be like, I mean, I probably could, but like I don't want to be. Like,
I don't want to.
And thank you. Insane, like you had like to manage like a whole family, and like you're this person now, and I'm the youngest, so I've known her since she was like grown and like assertive and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, bro, like you actually have to grow into this person. Like you just haven't. You weren't born like this. Like you haven't been like this.
Whatever.
Like, yeah, that's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah,
and it makes you humanize them as well, because it's like you're just figuring it out, just like me. Like, you're just a girl, just like me. Yeah. Oh my god, that is kind of crazy. I'm still gonna be on that literally probably till I go to bed, probably for the rest of the week.
Well,
So thank you.
that's like my job to trigger existential crises in people. Because when I was writing, like, me too, I had existential crisis. So now I have to. Everyone else needs to feel it.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
Mhm.
Okay, moving on. I really, really enjoyed your poem about like social media. Because there's something that I've been thinking about a lot as well, about like how we connect in the present age. And I find that, and even from your poem as well, it's like a lot of it is very fleeting, and it leaves us in this like constant state of like chasing or like desiring something
Yeah.
that is impermanent.
Mhm.
And it's really weird.
Yeah.
Because like what you said, like, are they gonna remember like my stories? Are they gonna like know, like, do you get what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I definitely with that piece, I actually had to think. I think because a lot of my pieces I just write.
Yeah.
I'm in like a state of flow.
Yeah.
But with that piece, I actually had to really think about it because it meant that I had to really look within myself and how I feel about. There's like myself, but then there's my digital self.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get so lost in the digital
Oh my
self.
god.
But the digital landscape is not a real place. As much as you spend your time on your phone, you cannot live there. And I think sometimes I even have moments where I will isolate myself, but I've been so prevalent in the digital space.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't, I deserve better than that to be doing that to myself. I think a lot of the issues in our generation are to do with how we separate our true self and our digital selves.
Yeah, from
and
what is projected.
Yeah. And also when writing that, I really wanted to play with the I wanted to use quite a bit of wordplay because of a lot of like social media apps, like websites or whatever, use words that we would describe ourselves, not ourselves with, but like say for example, like your homepage, like your home, your story, your character. These are all things that we describe as personal to ourselves. Yeah. But have somehow been used to like create these massive digital landscapes that are not real places. They're not your homepage is not your home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of insidious. It actually is. Like, because I feel um like in our age we're probably like when would you say you started using like what like
Social
you started being
media.
like chronically online?
Oh, I was chronically online from a young
Really?
I was chronically online from a young age.
How old? Like,
I would say like it was really like maybe 13, 14.
yeah.
I was just online too much. It's like the side of online I was on, it was like
What, the sides? Where were you?
I was on the dark web. No, I wasn't actually. But, I wouldn't say I was on a bad part of being online. I would say I was on a very much like pro-black American womanism, American feminism.
Oh, so it was
feminism.
heavy.
Yeah, it was very intense.
Yeah.
Side of social media to be on, and I feel like I absorbed a lot of those things. Became like this in my head. I was just this social justice warrior. Everyone's been through that phase.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm not actually able to apply any of this through my real life.
Oh my god.
So I became very frustrated. The difference between my digital life and my real life was like very
stark, yeah.
So it's like I need to invest more in my real life than yeah.
Instead of like giving a lot of credibility to like literally what's not real.
Exactly. Yeah.
How do you feel like? Have you tried to apply like any of those politics in your real life?
I would actually say the opposite. I've tried to like not undo applying politics to my real life, but taking a step back and looking at what real life is and what I can make it rather than the politics I've ingested and how I can project that onto everybody in my real life, because it's just not a plausible thing to do. And dealing with the frustration of that is not worth it. I don't think it's worth it for anyone's mental health. Yep.
I'm actually really enjoying this discussion, guys.
I'm
so sad that we have to cut this short. We ran into some technical difficulties, so we started a bit later today, so the show is going to be a bit shorter. But I don't want us to close without leaving you guys with an AI generated poem. Do we have enough time to flash the QR code up on the screen? We'll just flash up the QR code. So please get your phones ready. If you want to scan the code, and I'm really happy. A lot of people are like putting in their entries. So yeah, let us know what pain is to you. People are saying breakups, heartbreak. I'm not gonna say which entry is mine. Situationships, yeah, pain situationships for sure. Let's do away with those this year.
Or not pain is food.
I don't know about all that.
Someone's confused.
That's the opposite. Like,
Red
but yeah,
flags. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Pain is desire.
So yeah. All right. So we're gonna generate. Oh well, pain is family. What guys? I wish we could discuss this in more depth. Like, there's just so much. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we're able to do like part two. I don't know. Speak to me later. But yeah, we're gonna generate some poetry now. Thank you so much for getting involved with us today, and I really hope you've enjoyed the show. We've got time for one, maybe two. But yeah, let's generate some poetry with your entries. Oh, it's about family. Gloria, would you like to read? Should I read?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, go read.
Family love is like a never-ending symphony. Hey. English. Family love is like a never-ending symphony, a beautiful melody that fills my heart with warmth and happiness. It's pure and real, a bond that's unbreakable from the start. It's the love from my parents, so selfless and true, guiding me through life with every step. Their unconditional love knows no bounds, a love I'll always cherish and protect. Siblings, my partners in laughter and tears, we may fight, but our love never wanes. Built on a bond that can never be broken, a love that forever remains. From grandparents to cousins, aunts, and uncles. Love.
Okay.
That was nice.
There's love in pain.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess
There is love and pain.
I think the pain in family really just, yeah. But that was really nice though.
Yeah, that was really nice. Ending on a high note. I feel like we discussed so much. Yeah, I wish we had more time, guys. But join us again. We have the next In My Feelings installation next month. You can rewatch this on our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, mudhut.io. And yeah, keep up to date with us. We'll definitely post in advance of our next show as well. I think the next one is May 27th. Is it 27th? In May.
We'll confirm.
But yeah, definitely follow us on Instagram and we'll let you know. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks for coming, Gloria.
Thank you.
It's amazing having you. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely evening. You've been in your feelings, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.
Bye, guys.